Again, Congressman Mike McCaul was one of the key players at today's meeting. He's chairman of the House Committee on Homeland Security, and he joins me now. Chairman McCaul, welcome. Good to have you here today. Were you surprised that the cameras kept sticking around and sticking around and sticking around?
I mean, wow, the president was on top of his game tonight or today. It was unprecedented. We had a bipartisan, bicameral discussion, substantive, in the White House. It was carried on live national TV for almost an hour. I don't think that's ever happened before. It shows the transparency. And what I really admired about the president, he was like the CEO at the boardroom, and he was working both sides of the aisle, trying to get to a consensus, to work out an agreement on this very difficult issue. Yeah. And I give him a tremendous credit for what he did today.
I thought it was very interesting. He literally gave pretty much everybody at the table, I think, who wanted to speak, the opportunity to do that. So as a result of that, we all have this video of all of you kind of hinting at what you're willing to do. And you look at this issue in the broader numbers out in the country, and people are willing to find some common ground on many of these things. There are areas that are difficult. So now the onus is going to be on all of you to come up with some solution to this by early March, right?
Well, like the president said, he's going to lock the doors and make us work out an agreement on this. Showed very powerful leadership. It was very insightful, I think, for the American people to see what happens in the inner workings of Congress, backroom deals, they call it, but on live national television. That made all the difference. And the productive thing, Martha, is we came to four general themes, four elements of this agreement. First was border security, which my bill, I think, provides that when we look at the drug trafficking, human trafficking, potential terrorism, why that's so important. Chain migration, we've heard a lot about. Doing away with this lottery system that's a random system that makes no sense, and going to a merit-based system. And I point out to the president at the table and to the others that let's not forget the two major terror attacks in New York, both in Halloween and in December with the suicide bomber, were the result of these failed immigration policies, and we need to fix that. And then finally, I think you had a broad consensus of people, both left and right, saying that we need a legislative fix to DACA as the president has directed us to do so.
Yeah. Do you think you can get the things that you just mentioned, which are step one, as the White House termed them? Can that pass? You know, because you did hear Steny Hoyer pipe up and say, well, I don't know. There's a lot of controversial things that have been mentioned here. Dianne Feinstein said the same thing. Essentially, she wanted a clean bill, and the president, for a moment, it sounded like he would go for that. But his version of a clean bill obviously includes the border security, which was clarified later. So can it actually pass?
I think so. In fact, tomorrow morning, Chairman Goodlatte and I of Judiciary are going to introduce a bill that addresses all of these issues. And I think, we're going to have to come to terms with each of these. What we want to avoid is if we do create a legislative fix to DACA, we want the border secure, we want interior enforcement, so that we don't have to deal with another DACA situation, say 5 years down the road. One of the mistakes in 1986 with Reagan, they granted amnesty, but they failed to do the enforcement piece. We don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past.
Well, amnesty is the buzzword that has a lot of conservatives very upset. Ann Coulter tweeting about it tonight. She basically said that, the Michael Wolff book was nothing to the president's reputation compared to what she sees as him being a proponent of amnesty.
Well, I think, look, this is something that needs to be fixed. And look, if conservatives can get strong border security, including the wall the president wants, if we can get interior enforcement, changing chain migration for generations, lottery system, changing asylum laws, fundamental legal wall, if you will, to change the system that will impact a generation down the road. Quite frankly, I think even the most conservative ones in the Freedom Caucus support that idea.
Chairman McCaul, always good to see you. Fascinating day. Thank you very much for being here.